I have mine just in case.
Baller alert.
Corona will not get me. Sure.
The baby was born. And he was in the chat at midnight sending pictures of the kid, but he was also like, "Damn, stock's limit down right now. Like, what are y'all looking at?" I'm like, "Go care to your fucking child. Like, no trading for you this week."
I mean, the only way you really gain confidence is by experience. Nobody is confident without experience, and anybody who thinks they are is going to get a nice smack in the face, and then they'll realize that they're not so confident anymore. Reacts.
I did, though, when I woke up and I checked futures this morning. Like, I was like, we're probably going to gap up, and I'm missing a trade. I should have held out the stock. I woke up like the fucking Undertaker, like, oh, we're down 6%.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Episode 10. I checked this time.
If you gave me a million guesses, I wouldn't have guessed. 1 million guesses, I wouldn't have guessed.
Episode 10. We hit double digits. It's a little milestone, right? We're doing something.
They didn't think we would. They didn't think we would.
So, I mean, I'm happy we're on a 10th episode. I'm not so happy about what's going on. What is going on, Jake? How do you even describe this?
This is an absolute black swan event in the markets. This is like, they'll talk about this one for years to come because this one happened so much faster than anything in 2008, and no one really could have seen this one coming. Guys, really dug into the 2008 thing and the mortgage debt crisis and things like that, and you could kind of go into the financial system, figure that out. You could never predict, an international virus like this taking down markets 30% in 3 weeks. Just absolute insanity. But I mean, tons of opportunity for us out in intraday. We're doing really well. I mean, you definitely have to feel for the people. The long-term investors who are getting killed, that's downside of it. But, we're traders, so, we're taking advantage of all this opportunity out here.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you see left and right, people are just kind of freaking out.
Right.
Whether it's because, they're currently unemployed or whatever it might be, which is a perfect reason to be, kind of freaking out. But, when things like this happen, which although it is a very, you wouldn't predict something like this to happen, but bad things do happen in life. And like, that's when being prepared and doing the right things when things are going well pay off because, then you're not freaking out when you don't have a job for a couple weeks because, you have money saved up, you have all these other things that you're working on. So, those are kind of, hopefully it's a good lesson learned for a lot of people to pay a little more attention to when things are beautiful and sunshine and rainbows, to still be putting money away and putting it on the side and not just blowing it on unnecessary things.
Right.
And, just market wise also, you can't just expect the market to just keep on going up. For me, this is definitely the first time I've ever seen anything like this. I think it's kind of the first time anyone's ever seen anything like this because, like you
it's so different from 2008.
Right. So different from 2008. Very different from 2018, that little drop that we had. I mean, this is a complete different monster.
Yep.
So a ton of lessons to learn, whether you've been in the markets for years or you're just starting out. And something that I've been writing in all the chats is like, right now is the best time to be learning. Like the best time to just not risk any money at all and just learn. Because if you can learn and understand what's going on in these type of markets, you will flourish when things get better, and they will get better, So if you can take the time to actually put in the work right now, study, read, do the lessons. If you're part of our training programs, it's really going to pay off in those first 2 months that the market bounces back. Because like you said in the last one, those first 2 months are super, super crucial. And like that's where the big money is made.
Yeah. And you'll be so much more ready to throw on that crazy risk after watching, this disgusting market action day in and day out. When we have that boring trending environment, you're going to be fucking psyched again that it's boring. When you just buy shit, low a day, I'll sell it in a week, see you later, Okay, go on.
You mentioned it's like been disgusting market action, but I mean, some of the members in Alpha, we're still making some money, and it's not going short. It's not trading options. It's not doing this crazy stuff. It's still using the things that we've been learning all this time. We're still going long. So maybe kind of explain what's going on. How are you still making money in this market?
Right. So now, and I've been explaining for a while now how what we really do is condense our time frame, and we really want to have the same principles, have the same trading style, and things like that, have the same risk reward qualities, but everything has to be condensed because we closed the market so well yesterday. We thought we were going to bounce, and then we gapped down 6% today, almost hit circuit breaker off the open, and did hit circuit breaker again. When people were going out yesterday, like, maybe I should hold some stock overnight, and we're like, and, you never know what's going to happen. So in these type of markets, it's really about waiting, stalking for your moment, and then just putting that risk on and kind of selling into the pop. And for us, since we've been seeing these crazy gap downs, it's always, in my experience, it's always been best to go against the gap when it's an extreme gap.
Yeah.
So we're down 5 or 6%. I'm not going to short that open and hope that we're down 7-8% off the open. I'm going to buy that for the retracement move. So, today is a perfect example. We were like, are we going to hit circuit breaker off the open? We're opening right around that 7% level, open down about 6.5%. And then the market, the SPY went from 236 to 240 in the first 5 minutes of trading, like just ripped up. So it's like, okay, that's very constructive action. So now I want to find the most relatively strong stocks and find intraday setups with them. And then for I guess we'll talk about that later, the Corona stocks and stuff. But it's still gravitating towards the strongest names. And now we're trading intraday patterns instead of super macro bull flags. But we're still looking for the bull flag intraday wise. We've gotten it so well in this fucking Zoom video. I can't believe they gave us the same exact trade 2 days in a row. And we crushed it. Crushed it. So, it's that shit. It's looking for these strong stocks. And then when you couple in that the market is down 6%, we're getting that gap. Even if we retrace the down 2%, we're catching a 4% move intraday to the long side. So the names that are relatively strong are just exploding up off the open and giving a tiny little secondary flag and then making that explosive move. But we're not sitting here like, oh, this looks great, maybe I can hold it tomorrow. No, we're just taking our 2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1 winners. Whatever they give us, we're taking. And that's why you have to just condense that time frame. You got to be willing to take profit much more quickly. But it is fun out here. Days are exciting right now.
Yeah, man. Just getting that lunch money, like I've been saying in there, just acquiring the lunch money and then, get out and go do something else, or keep studying the markets, but don't really risk any more money. Just kind of do that 1 or 2 trades and then just move on for the day, because there'll be another opportunity the next day if you're just patient instead of trying to swing it, So the skills that you need to do what we're doing is still the same kind of stuff that we teach. You're buying through a certain resistance level. You have your stop under a support level. You're taking, you're cutting a little bit into strength. You're paying for the trade. You're moving your stop to break even, and then you're cutting it at a higher, 5-1 when it's really extended. So it's all the same thing that we're usually doing, but now it's shrunk down into maybe a 5-minute chart instead of looking at a daily chart over a week. But you do have to adapt to that. Like this is the time to in order and then leave the desk and go do something else.
Right.
That's not a good idea, because you're just it happens so fast that you really have to be in and out quickly. So you have to be there. It's not like our usual swinging where you have your order at 10 a.m., you check your phone at 12, you got triggered at 10:45 and you're up 3%, and then you set your next stop. It will not work like that. And if you take it that way, you're going to get smoked.
I have a great example today. I was selling some Zoom. We got that sick move up, and I only had orders up to like 115.50, like sell orders, and had to take a little poop. So I get there, I'm trying to sell it from my phone over there. I couldn't catch it at all because I left the desk. Can't leave the desk in times like this, So I came back. I eventually got another pop to sell it to, but I was like kicking myself. I was like, should have just held it another 20 minutes, but. The environment changes so much. Whereas in trending environments, I could just sit on my cell phone all day, move up my stops and, things like that, where it's like, I can't leave the desk right now while while I open trades.
Yeah, it's a lot more high maintenance, but I'm going to go to the bathroom. I mean, I guess that means you have some toilet paper sitting around, so that's good. Clearly you fought off a couple people to get a couple rolls. Right. I don't even get what that's all about, but I have mine here. I have mine just in case.
Baller alert.
Corona will not get me. Corona will not get me here. But yeah, it's a lot more high maintenance, I guess you could say. You really have to be paying attention. And if you don't have the ability to do that, then it's okay to be sitting on the sides. Again, right now I'm just trading and you're just trading for lunch money. I mean, you had a nice lunch today on ZM for sure.
Good lunch.
But we're trading a lot less risk, a lot less capital kind of thing. And if that's not your game, if you're not able to do that, if you can't be at the screen like we are, just sit back, watch the charts whenever you can, just so you can get an idea of what's going on, so you can be ready on the move back up. But there's plenty of people in the chat that aren't doing anything.
Right.
They're hanging out. They're kind of watching what's going on. They're still learning from what we're doing too, because we're like live trading, like we have we type up where we're entering, we have our stop, we're typing up our kicks and all that kind of stuff. So you're literally learning how to do it as we're
Yeah.
doing it, which is really, really cool, because there's no really other place to do that unless you're actually sitting down and practicing it.
Right.
So sitting on the sidelines is totally cool, and you will definitely have your chance to make the money when the market comes back up.
And it's funny because you see how the characters in the chat have changed, where now we got all the day traders every day, who are just flying and trading as much as possible. And whereas a few weeks ago, it was a completely different crowd, buying against these massive support levels and things like that. And it's just funny how it changes because the behavior of the market changed. And so
Yeah.
the characters are changing. It's just funny.
Yeah, so this wouldn't really be possible without the commissions, or without free commissions that we have now. And I wanted to kind of give praise to those people that are day trading, that are putting in the work every day, that are, shrinking their time frames and adapting, but still using the skills that we've been teaching. I think it's really awesome. And, this is fun, but at the same time, I just can't wait till it kind of ends and gets back to our, normally scheduled programming, where we can just, get back into the swing of things. I think, that's where the real money is made, at least for me. All right, well, let's get into like some of the things that people were asking me. So,
Okay.
I had a question from Joe, and he was just kind of asking, what are some of the characteristics that you look for in charts? Like, for example, we're looking at Zoom. What's so good about Zoom right now that we're able to make money on it long?
Right. So Zoom is a great example of what we're looking for in this environment, where it's something that benefits from the coronavirus, where schools are canceled, businesses are closing, so everyone's using Zoom video. So you kind of have to think it through a little bit. The other stocks that are great in these environments, the Cloroxes, the Walmarts. So we're seeing those names explode, but we're coming into every single day flat with no stock because we're seeing all these gap downs. But then when we get that retracement move off the open, that's when we're looking to buy these Cloroxes, Walmarts, and Zooms just for the day trade. And I saw so many people doing so well with those stocks, but it's not like I'm buying. I don't personally I don't want to be buying these like the Boeings that are just down so much. It's like, oh, they have to bounce soon. I know people are taking those trades. That's just not for me. That's fucking way too scary of a buy. But even like Disney's getting crushed right now. I'm looking at that for the long-term account type thing. But so for right now though, for the day trades, it has to be something, a consumer staple stock that's just hardcore benefiting from, all the closures of businesses and the kind of panic we're seeing out in the world right now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's something also that I notice is like, usually in normal trading times, I'm not really paying attention to what the company is doing so much. I'm more focused on the technical parts and just kind of looking at the charts, and if it sets up and it has a resistance, then I buy through resistance and all this stuff. But now you really have to pay attention to stuff outside of the markets to be able to connect, what's going on in the world and the chart. So yeah, that's why that ZM is working really well, because not only obviously the chart's looking really good and the looking really good, because now you need to actually have reasons, because there's not a lot of them. So the reason that it's working really good is because a lot of companies are using Zoom right now. It's all over the news. The Zoom CEO said he's going to give everyone, his product for free, all this kinds of stuff. So everybody's talking about it. Everybody knows about it. Everyone has eyes on it. And that's why it's working. So yeah, something like Zoom works. Something like you said, a Walmart, Clorox.
So it's like when I'm during trending environments, it's like, I spend just hours and hours and hours of research. And this is almost nice because it's like, you kind of just have to put the math together, and then you type up the charts and kind of find the charts, or you just kind of scroll, you could scroll by the highest percentage gainers, and it's all these consumer staple stocks. So there's a lot less research during this time because it's very stock specific. If that almost makes no sense, but no, because it's stock specific, so you have to find the stock. But you have to, it takes a little cerebral. You got to think it through a little bit.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. So yeah, other than that, characteristic wise, I guess right now it's just what's being used the most and what's in the news the most is kind of what's working.
What are you panicking to do? You're panicking to go to the supermarkets. Boom, Kroger, one of the biggest food supply chains in the U.S. Their stock is raging. It's doing that simple little math, but coming into the day flat because we're likely. We gap down every day. The market's like almost near crashing right now.
Hmm.
But so to me, coming into the day flat is so important. Like even though we all traded Zoom to long side yesterday, all had the sick trade, and then we're like, guys were like, I think I want to hold some, and then they got to pop into the close. They're like, no, I'm just gonna take the gift, and I'm like, I'm out with y'all.
Yeah.
And so then we got the gap down today, and it's like, oh, fuck yeah, like fuck yeah, like thank you God for giving us another gap down. And then we all did the best on it on day 3 of buying the same exact name because it's
Hmm.
going to have that relative strength off the open. It's going to get dragged down by the market a little bit, but then market opens, and if the market bounces a little bit, that's the first name that traders and investors gravitate towards right
Hmm.
now. You know,
For sure.
so there's just so much opportunity out there right now for if you're just a day trader, keep it on the short time frame.
Yeah, and there's also another thing is like I've had a lot of people kind of reach out to me and they're like, "Hey, um, I want to start day trading because right now it's a day trading environment." I'm like, "Well, you, right now is not the time to day trading
Start.
if you've never done it before. Start learning how
Yeah,
to day
right,
trade
right, right.
so that you can be ready. Because I mean, who knows how long this will last? You know, you might be able to if you actually sit down and focus for a week. If you already have the skills that we've taught you and made it to Alpha Chat, and now you sit down and just focus on learning and pretend like you're back and getting started in the first chat, except now you're learning how to day trade and navigate these like rough market conditions. By next week you can start putting on risk. But if you just right away starting to put on risk because there's no swing trades, you're probably going to get chopped up. And then that is just a domino effect because then your confidence gets down, you do it less, and then there's one trade that you should have taken but you didn't take was the winner, and then all these other things happen. So it's better to just sit back and learn first and accelerate that learning because like I said, you have skills already, so you can learn it quicker now. And then by next week, if this stuff is still happening, you can take advantage of it.
Yeah, yeah, couldn't agree more.
Which brings me to my next question from Mr. Chatty. He
Transition game.
he was asking about building
Congrats,
confidence. What's
congrats on the
that?
child. Congrats on the
Yes,
child, Adam.
congrats on the baby Chatty. Hell yeah, they're gonna be one hell of a trader for sure.
The baby was born, and he was in the chat at midnight sending pictures of the kid, but he was also like, "Damn, stock's limit down right now. Like, what are y'all looking at?" I'm like, Go care to your fucking child. Like, no trading for you this week.
Corona baby, I love it.
Corona baby.
So Chat, and he did mention, he's like, I know that it's hard to really teach this, but how can you best help people learn how to build their mindset and their confidence when it comes to trading, even outside of just these kinds of markets, but just in general?
I think everything you pointed to before, where it's kind of, maybe take a week of paper trading it. We hate paper trading because it's like you don't have the emotions of it, but kind of just to see if you're doing the right thing. See if you eke out some wins type thing, and then
Yeah.
then start trading with small risk and kind of apply it live and follow our leads. We're all trading. We all end up trading the same few baskets of names in these environments. Whereas when it's a trending market, there's 500 names being thrown around the alpha chat. Right now, it's the same like 5-7 names. So I
Mhm.
mean, just take our lead, ask questions, things like that, and then slowly start to apply it yourself and see see how you do. But I mean, it's very difficult because every day is so different. We've gone straight down in the market and made money long each day, but that's really only because we've been experiencing gap downs every day.
Yeah.
We had one day where we gapped up, and I was too early to a long, like, because we were coming in some more,
Mhm.
and I should have switched my gear, switched my thinking a little bit. Like, we're kind of in the middle of a range here. So you have to be, that's why I say you have to be very flexible. That's what I mean, where it's like, all right, we're gapping down 5%. I can go for that retracement trade. All right, we're gapping up 2%, but there's a lot of overhead resistance right here. Let's kind of see what the market wants to do off the open, see what's strong, see what's weak, and kind of take it from there. But it's learning on the fly and learning in the field.
Mhm.
You don't get a lot of time to experience this when we've been trending for the last 9 years for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah. And just to clarify, because when the market is gapping down, you're not buying right off the open. You're not like,
No, no, no.
shit,
We're
gap
seeing.
down, here we go. You have to wait a little bit and see how it reacts.
I did though when I woke up and I checked futures this morning. Like, I was like, we're probably gonna gap up, and I'm missing a trade. I should have held out the stock. I woke up like the fucking Undertaker, like, oh, we're down 6%. Let's do it. I
I'm
swear,
back.
I was like, let's go. Yeah. And then what happened? Exactly what we wanted to happen happened.
Yeah.
You
That
know,
was perfect.
and the
I
market's
really I'm
down probably
wondering.
10% now.
I'm wondering if that ZM seller is the same guy from yesterday.
You know,
I
it
I
probably
really
is.
am.
Probably is.
Honestly, I want to find him and send him some flowers, maybe a
Yeah,
roll of toilet
my
paper or
God, yeah,
something.
yeah. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, bro. See you at the office.
So, yeah, confidence. I mean, it's all about. I mean, the only way you really gain confidence is by experience. Nobody is
Completely.
confident without experience, and
Exactly.
anybody who thinks they are is going to get a nice smack in the face, and then they'll realize that they're not so confident anymore.
Right.
So just be patient. Like I say before, it's in the beginning, it's trial and error time. You're here to learn and understand. You're here to make mistakes cheap so that you don't make them expensive later on when you're making the big bucks and you don't make stupid decisions anymore.
And no,
Um,
and so when you have the winners like today, like ZM for me, I've seen that before where it's like we get the same exact day trade set up the following day. And for me, I could put on 3 times the risk I put on yesterday with a dollar stop because I was so confident. I was like, oh my God, they're giving us the same exact trade. This is like, if they rip this through the level, it's nuts that they're giving. So trading this environment gives yourself the confidence to realize like, oh, this is going to be the one to ramp up the risk a little bit where it's like I was doing like, 1/10 of percent risk type thing. And then this
mhm.
one, I risked like a 0.5%. And and it exploded and I was out of it in like 30 minutes for the most part for like a 4-1 winner or whatever it was.
Mhm.
So I'm just it just gives you the confidence, to be big when you need to be big, and then be small when it's like, you're testing out new trades or feelers and things of that nature. But great time to be learning.
For sure, best time to be learning. Literally the best time. And and I'm still seeing a lot of crickets in a lot of the lower chats. Not a lot of people doing the work. Some people hitting me up on the side and doing it privately, but not a lot of people doing it. And it's just crazy because people always they don't have enough time to do things. It's like, what? I mean, you were given the gift of staying at home for 2 weeks. Like,
Right.
yeah, okay, some people work from home, whatever, but you still have so much more time. Just take out the time that you commute to work every day, and just put that towards trading instead. You're going to learn something. But people will always find something to complain about.
Of
And
course.
those who take advantage will be the ones who will
Reap the
be the ones who
benefits.
succeed.
Yep.
They're going to take this, uh, they're going to take this whole bad news and everything that's going on in the world, and they're really going to turn it into something great. New businesses will start. Things will get cleared out. Bad businesses will, flush out and start over on something different and something better. So a lot of great things are going to happen. And I think that something that I've mentioned before is like the fact that this is happening so fast, I think
Yeah.
is really good because we don't have to sit on our hands for like 2 years,
Right.
you
Right.
know,
Right.
knock on
Yeah.
wood. I mean,
Yeah. No.
hopefully
Yeah. No.
not.
Who knows? Who knows? But I mean, the financial crisis was just like 6, 7, 8 months of just chopping back and forth, and it was like down, up, down, up, down. Where it's like
Mhm.
at least we're getting the fast move down over with, if you
Yeah.
will. For us, I mean, we're going to be in these seats anyway.
Mhm.
So I welcome this pullback in the markets
Yeah, absolutely.
wholeheartedly.
The next thing is, I mean, we're supposed to
Yeah.
talk about
No
crash related
transitions.
adjustments. What?
Yeah. No transitions. That brings
Um,
me to
that wait, what were we talking? We were talking about the crash, and that brings me to crash related adjustments.
ah.
You see how I just flew
Damn,
flow
you're a
into that
wave.
one?
You're water right now. You are water. Um, so
I
I
am
mean,
one
we've
with the
been
water.
we've been speaking on it, and for me, the biggest thing is coming in every day flat,
Yeah.
and then it's also not hesitating as much and kind of knowing in a brief sense of what exactly you're looking for intraday. Usually when we're swing trading, it's just like I really want to just see it go through this level, and I want to see the volume increase.
Yeah.
But for us, it's like after I see the SPY make that first move off the open in the 5 minutes, how are these basket of names responding? Are they making that first move and then flagging out with the market? Am I trying to buy that second flag? So it becomes knowing what you're looking for. It also becomes like shrinking the time frame and no hesitating. Your price matters so much when you're day trading, so much more than
Yeah.
when you're swing trading. So you can't hesitate, and you want to really look to unload profit quickly. This is an environment where you can't. you're not going to have a lot of 5-1 winners. We got blessed in Zoom today that we crushed it, but most of the winners are going to be 2-1, 3-1 winners. So you have to know that your batting average has to be higher in this environment than a swing trade environment where one win is going to pay for 5 losers. You're not going to have that in this environment. So it's usually very patient off the open, except when we have an extreme gap down. And then you kind of look at where the market's going to pivot, look at where your stocks are pivoting, and just you have to be a hawk with these things, because when it's time to buy out these names, a lot of the time you don't really have a lot of time to do it. You have to make that decision quickly, and if it's you're shorting a rip or you're buying a dip, you can't really buy strength or short weakness in this environment, because it's just the market changes so quickly. As we saw today, we went down 7%. We almost went green, and now I think we're closing like, oh shit, we bounced hard. But
look at that.
But we're still down like 5% or 4%.
Yeah.
Right around where that opening was. But if you tried to short that weakness where we took out lows there, you're chopped up. If you tried to buy new highs today, I'm pointing at the screen like anyone can see. But if you tried to buy new highs today, if you weren't ready to buy off the open, you got crushed. If you tried to short new lows, you got crushed. So it's kind of reversing that thinking, because you know that you're not going to take stock home at the end of the day, that your trading limit, the time limit of trading, you only have 6.5 hours of a ticking clock of a ticking trading day for something to happen, for a move to be made. Because I don't want to hold anything overnight. I can't imagine anyone doing well with it.
Yeah. No, I think that's like the number one thing right now is just ending the day flat. Just because it's not worth the risk. Like, sure, it could gap up, but it's really not worth the risk of that happening, because it's just a 50-50. You really don't know what's going to happen. And then if you're in a stock that's gapped down, it just kind of totally messes with your emotions and your mindset for that day. So not only are you in a gap and then you kind of just lost the profits that you made the previous day, but you're probably also missing out on any possible profits for that day. So, going in flat is definitely the move. And then you mentioned shorting, which is what we're going to talk about now, and why, because obviously people are like, well, why don't we just short the market now? Why don't we just short it? Why is that not a good idea, Shake?
So, I mean, it just becomes very difficult, because if you didn't catch the first move, names got all the great short setups got taken out with that first move. When the market panicked, all the names flushed. So now we have so many broken charts. So the only way to really short right now is, finding stocks that have made a long way at resistance, for example, intraday, and trying to short against resistance, which that's just, to me, that's creating a bad habit. As we're still making money to the long side. The market, off the open today, just sheer intraday went up 4%, down 6%, up 2%. So it's like there's going to be opportunity, even if we're closing down on both sides, because when we open down 5%, that takes all the shorting opportunity away from us intraday traders, unless you're looking to short into a pop after the retracement move. But when the market turns, for us buyers who have been practicing buying this entire time, even buying in the bad times because we have a shorter time frame, then it becomes, that's why I'm able to make, the huge amounts when the market does turn, those first 2 months, whenever the market's going to turn, because we're going to see such stronger action. We're still going to see the intraday pops, but then we're going to see the names hold the moves. We talk about the Zoom like it's up 1,000,000%. It's probably flat on the week. It's just been giving us a great intraday move, and it gives up that entire gain at the end of the day. But we're not feeling that, because we're just selling into the pop. So then when we start seeing all those names close at highs and just like ripping at highs, then we're going to be so much more ready to swing trade to the long side when it's time. So, I mean, we're always, even though we're playing the short game right now, we're still playing the long game by working on the fundamentals to the buying side. And, there is definitely opportunity to the short side. You can't say there's not when we lose 30% of the market.
It's extreme volatility. So, I mean, there's moments when things are going up and moments are going down. So there's definitely there's opportunity there for people who are short. But, and then there's people who reach out and are like, well, should I start shorting? But that like long-term shorting, I'm like, well, no, because if you flip it's very simple. If you look at the SPY and you look at the daily chart and then you flip it over, right? Would you go long there? No, absolutely not. It's like it's just gone straight up. Here it's gone straight down. You already the short move.
Right. So people we're definitely not in a bull market right now. Like that is one thing
Yeah.
that is in concrete. But what people don't realize about bear markets, like they talk, I posted a chart on the shakedown this weekend that was like, the top 10 best days of the S&P 500. They've all
And
come
bear
in bear markets. They've all
Yeah.
because the market gets crushed and then it has the snapback move, then it gets crushed again. So it's just there's so much opportunity to be made in both sides of the market right now. And it's just as simple as that, where it's like you're still going to see the huge, up 4%, down 6%, up 2% was today. So you only need to capture one of those parts of the day.
Mm-hmm.
To have a
Yeah,
good.
and if you're trying to like catch both, I mean, some people can do it.
I mean,
I
I'm not, yeah, back at the firm, we used to do that. Like, but I've gotten to the point where I think day trading is pretty difficult. So I'm just trying to eke out that one winner a day. That's really it. One or two winners a day. That's really all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to buy 5 names if I think we're gonna bounce. I'm trying to load up on one name, just sell into a quick pop, things like that. Whereas I used to in these environments, we used to sit at the computer like with actual piss buckets at our feet and fucking 6.5 hours just trade 30, 40, 50,000 shares. But like I would have 50% winners, 50% losers, and I wouldn't make that much versus where I could just come in, lock in, try to get my one winner in a 30-minute span, and then just continue building my account. That's the lesson I've personally learned over this time. There's a ton of opportunity, but you only want to swing at the best pitches that day versus this one might work, this one might work. $200 here, $200 here, $200 here, or just like 1,000 at this one at this time when everything's lining up.
I agree. I agree. And that does it for all the points we were supposed to go over today.
Hell yeah. I got a
So
little hike lined up, taking my pup out to the mountains.
you're
This
gonna go play some
quarantine,
basketball with your plants?
I was crazy for moving out to Colorado. Now all my New York City friends are staring at their floorboards. I'm a genius all of a sudden. So
Is there anyone else in your office right now?
there's it's like the capacity of it is like 3,000 people. It's the biggest. Like I got lost in it this morning because I was dribbling around. I was like, oh my God, I've never been here before. But also they clean it every night. The cleaner's still coming. So this is
Nice.
it's like, yeah, long Clorox.
All right, we're all moving there. We're just gonna take over the office,
Hell yeah,
and
that'd
we'll
be
trade
sick.
from there.
Yeah,
So, a little
love that.
recap.
Okay.
Little recap. What can we say? You want to start it off?
Sure. Definitely. I mean, a big focus on the condensing of the time frames. We've been doing it really well. Major gap downs, we're buying them. That when the fear is greatest, that's when the snapback move is the best. And they're not holding these gains as we see every single day. The market's closed lower than when we sold our stocks. So closing the day flat. Not having any stock overnight, very important right now, and taking your winners into profit, just into the pops. And it's very important. Like stocks may go higher. Don't be mad if it's a win. If it's a win is a win in this environment. If you sold everything at Zoom 115 and went to 117, 118, don't be mad at that. Be a little better next time when you get that opportunity, but you took a win. When everyone's getting fucking killed in this environment. So if you can learn to profit in this environment, you gotta take anything you can get out of this market.
Yeah.
What else?
And to add on to that, I mean, just stay flat by the close so that you can be ready for the next day.
Have your basket of names that are relatively strong. Have your basket of names that are relatively strong. Have a plan. Have a plan for every market open. What you want to see the market do. Have S&P or whatever you look at for the broad market. Have levels mapped out so you understand where extreme support is, where resistance is probably going to kick in. Things like that. The more preparation with market levels, the better. You don't need to do to search a million charts every night. That's not really as important right now.
Yeah. And if you're not used to this day trading environment, just go back into study mode. Like how the same way you learn what we do, go back into study mode. And then the last point, I mean, just wash your damn hands, okay?
Wash those fucking
Wash your hands like 20 times a day. Simple. And stay away from other people, okay? That's it. That's all you have to do, and we'll be fine.
And for the low price of $1,000, Heaven has one roll of toilet paper for anyone who wants it.
Brand new. Not
new.
Even used. Not even used.
Still sealed? Still sealed?
No. Yeah. It's still sealed.
Oh man. 2,000. Psych. 2,000.
2,000. And if you want me to use it first, and we'll talk, okay? Just hit me up. All right. Thank you. See you next time.
Hell yeah.